Sky Fantasy Football Show. Game week 27, striking out. So firing blanks ahead of the fixture blanks and doubles. So double-edged sword this week. We have a lack of strikers. And we have a lack and a change of fixtures for some. It's finally been April's fixtures announced. We'll have a look at those in a minute. And then the striking options, well, this came from last weekend's FA Cup mainly. So in the middle of the screen we have Mateta, who was nearly decapitated by the Millwall goalkeeper. 25 stitches in an ear. Now that must be quite severe damage, I think. But talk is he should be ready for when the league fixtures return after the international break, which is coming up after next weekend. Next to him is Mr. Cunha, who has received a 3-match ban, possibly more to come, for his second, what can we call it, bad behaviour red card of the season. He was certainly getting a little bit agitated, so he's not going to be seen. Hiding in the left-hand side, we've got Mr. Isak, who Eddie Howe is, how can we be kind, not very honest all of the time about injury state of his players, but we have found out today that he has trained, so he's likely to play Monday, you would think. But Newcastle definitely going to have one eye on the League Cup final, if not two. And the wheels are slightly starting to come off up at the Toon. Unfortunate with injuries, and Gordon got himself a 3-match ban who's going to miss the EFL Cup final due to his petulance in the FA Cup defeat to Brighton at the weekend. Then on the right-hand side, we have Cody Gakpo, who's missed a couple of Liverpool games, wasn't in the lineup or the bench on Wednesday for their miraculous win over in Paris. I'd not seen a shot map like that in a long while. One shot on target and it's a goal, and Alisson at least 4 or 5 world-class saves, and I think he had 9 in total. So, but Gakpo's not been seen. Chances are he's not going to be around this weekend. And then Liverpool go on a bit of a blank run. We'll see that shortly. And then poking out the right-hand side, we have Dom Solanke, who came back from his injury against Alkmaar yesterday in the Europa League. And then I think he went off again injured. So no further news on that yet either. So if we're looking for some strikers, and we always are in this game, we're going to have to look a little bit deeper. So let's have a look at, we have the confirmed calendar. This is now up to April 28th. And when I say confirmed, there's still quite a few asterisks in there. As I put in a couple of chats, more asterisks than in a French comic album. And some of those have been rectified now. So when we get to have a look at Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 1st, 2nd and 3rd of April, those fixtures are correct now. Some of those have been moved due to the FA Cup quarter-finals. But there are still some. And I have a feeling that Liverpool at Fulham on Sunday, the April the 6th, is one that could be changed. That's if Liverpool end up with a Tuesday Champions League fixture the midweek that follows that. And there's several other instances the same. So by this time next week, we'll know who's gone through in the Champions League and the Europa League and the Conference League to the quarter-final stage. And hopefully we should have some fixture dates announced. No guarantee, of course. So we see here, so a few questions we've had mainly regarding Liverpool. So we see that they play Southampton tomorrow. It's a 3 o'clock kickoff, so we won't see the lineup. Expecting a little bit of change. Just reading the comments from John in the chat. Yeah, very funny, John. Ian has the gall to mention asterisks. Yes, we had a few puns of that in the chats this week. Yeah, so Liverpool play Southampton 3 o'clock tomorrow. We won't see the lineup, and with the PSG, the second leg, and it's still tight, only 0-1 to come on Tuesday. I think there could be some rotation, and there certainly could be some people coming off early if Liverpool are well ahead. I saw an expected goals. I think this was odds. 3.4 was their expected against Southampton. Whether it turns out like that is anybody's guess. But then we do see that the Merseyside derby coming up on Wednesday, April the 2nd, and then they've got that game scheduled against Fulham on April the 6th. Yeah, Sunday, April the 6th, but that could move forward to Saturday night, I think, on April the 5th. And there's quite a few teams that have got three for zeros, 4 for ones. Go a bit further down, you'll even find more than that. We'll have a look at that when we check on the team planner. So everything there that you can see, you can find on the planner over on the Patreon. It's all up to date, fully working now. So let's see if I can cross off this. And this is the team I'm going to put up. He says. I wanted to put up something else there. Hold on. Talk amongst yourselves, people. Find it here. Stick that over there. Check that's working okay. Yeah, so this is, I'm going to make that a big screen. This is the leaderboard for where we are currently. So Shane White still at the top with Wexco United, 2,604 points. And he is only 12 points clear of Melvin Poole in second, 2592. JRZ joint second, 2592. Then rounding out the top 10, we have Mark McFadden, Mark Hawes, Kay Dickinson, Richard Fincham, Neil Fleeson, Mark Berry, and Mark Williamson. And then the best scores for last game week was 122 from Chris Smith, 121 from Adrian Gage, 117 from Johnny Stolberg. And then rounding out the top 10, we had Dennis, Stephen Self, Martin, David Hughes, James Ingram. Welcome along, James. I'm pretty sure that when we get round to doing this in phase 2 next season, you'll be nearer the top. Dale Pointer, John McCornley, and Andrew McGill. So let's have a look and see who scored the points. I had to refresh myself that the actual game week was 26 and it was the last midweek from the Tuesday to Thursday. So Brighton 2, Bournemouth 1, Pedro and Welbeck for Brighton with Cliver for Bournemouth. Minte with tier 3 tackles and Hill with tier 3 tackles for Bournemouth. Crystal Palace 4, Aston Villa 1. Goals for Sarr, Mateta, Sarr again and Nketiah. Tier 3s for Lacroix, Mitchell and Eze with the tackles and Sarr with the shots. Aston Villa's goal was Rodgers and they didn't have any tier 3s at all. Wolves 1, Fulham 2. Goal scorers were João Gomez for Wolves and Sessegnon and Muniz for Fulham. Tier 3s for Aït-Nouri with the tackles, Doherty with the passes and Cunha with the shots for Wolves. Nobody for Fulham. Chelsea 4, Southampton 0. Excuse me. Goal scorers for Chelsea were Nkunku, Neto, Colwell and Cucurella. Tier 3s for Cucurella with the tackles, Colwell with the passes, Palmer with the shots. And for Southampton, Ramsdale with the saves. Brentford 1, Everton 1. Goal scorers were Wissa and O'Brien. And only one tier 3 there, which was Wissa with the shots for Brentford. Nottingham Forest 0, Arsenal 0. Tier 3's Dominguez for the tackles for Forest. And Timber with the tackles for Arsenal. Spurs 0, Manchester City 1. Goal scorers Haaland. Tier 3s for Udogie and Bergvall with the tackles. And Danzo with the passes for Tottenham. Edison with the saves for City, Kovacic with the tackles, and Haaland with the shots. Manchester United 3, Ipswich 2. Goal scorers were De Ligt, Maguire, and a Morsey own goal for United, and a Philogene with a brace for Ipswich. Tier 3s for Maguire with the shots for United, and Philogene with the shots for Ipswich. Liverpool 2, Newcastle 0. Goal scorers were Szoboszlai and McAllister. Tier 3s Tsimikas and Szoboszlai with the tackles, Van Dijk with the passes, and Hall with the tackles for Newcastle. So let's have a look at the team. See how many points we scored. So 94, so not quite 100 for me. One transfer, which was Mbeumo out for Bowen, who was captain. We all thought he'd scored the goal on Thursday, but it was an own goal and only the assist. So points for Sells with 9, Robinson 0. I think he didn't start, came on, got booked, 0 points. Van Dijk with 20 as captain for Liverpool's clean sheet and passing. Saliba 9, Munoz 4. It's doing well, Munoz. Scored again in the FA Cup over the weekend. Trent with 8. Palmer with 5, Foden 1, Kluivert captain. That was Tuesday with 18 with his goal. Bowen, as mentioned, with 12 with the captain, and then Mo Salah. So at the minute we're firing with a 5-4-1 formation. Very strange, and one that won't be allowed in Cloud next year in Phase 2. We are going back to the original Sky formation, so 5-4-1 won't be allowed. More to come on Phase 2 next week, and I'll see if I can find some slides to show from extra work that's been done behind the scenes by Mike and FF Stuff. And we'll also be asking for a bit of help with people to do some testing after the international break, so we can get it all ready for 2025 in August for next season. But more on that to come, as I say. So let's have a look at overall points. Then we'll just do these in the top 20 overall today. So Mo Salah at the top, well ahead. Haaland second, Palmer third, Isak fourth, Wood fifth. Then in the 170s as well is Mbeumo and Van Dijk. In the 160s, Trent, Cunha, Watkins. In the 150s, Bruno, Munoz, Kluivert, Saliba, Sells and Gvardiol. In the 140s, Gabriel, Wissa, Mateta. Then the top 130s is Pickford. And where am I looking now? I was going to look at ownerships. So top of the shop, Salah and Palmer, both with 71.6. Isak next at under 40%. Gabriel, same, 39.24. Haaland the same. Bowen the same. Henderson then, 34. Kluivert 33. And Mbeumo 33. Van Dijk just over 30. Saliba, 29.7. Munoz 27. Bruno 25. Van Heck 22. Trent 20. Gordon 18. Robinson 18. Gvardiol 17. And then the 16s are Smith Rowe and Aina. And we'll have a quick look at the bonus tiers. So Van Dijk at the top, 57, Kovacic 56. Some more in the 50s, Bruno, Haaland, Partey, Salah and Saliba. And then in the 40s, Munoz, Colwill, Flecken, Tielemans, Caicedo, Gvardiol, Van Heck, Lisandro Martinez, Bassi, Ramsdale, Mazraoui and Gueye. And then the top of the 30s at 39 is João Gomez. Right, so I'll make that disappear now. I want to see if I can put my team up, which I think, yep, there we go. So this is a slight change of plan, you'll see. So we had some questions. I'm going to get John, who's in the chat. Evening, John. Get his question up so I don't get it wrong. 2 ticks. So if you have player coverage for Monday night, is it worth holding off bringing in Newcastle player until Monday the 7th of April, considering their other commitments and other teams having more fixtures? And 2, in Parim parlance, will Wednesday the 2nd of April be classed as a moving day? So let's take part 1 first. I'll have a look at the calendar here. So let's get rid of that so we can see what we're looking at. So Monday the 7th of April, that is Newcastle against Leicester. So what games have Newcastle got before then? So they've got West Ham away. That's on the Monday night this week. Then they play on Wednesday at home to Brentford. So yeah, a whole chunk of teams playing on that Wednesday. We've got Brighton hosting Villa, Bournemouth hosting Ipswich, Brentford going to Newcastle, Palace going to Southampton, Everton going to Liverpool in the derby, Leicester going to Man City. Yeah. And then there's only one on the Thursday, which is Tottenham v Chelsea. So yeah, it looks like you could hold off, and that might be part of my plan. Because then you get Leicester, Manchester United, Crystal Palace in the rearranged game on the 16th, and then Villa away, and then Ipswich. So yes, I think that might be quite tidy. Let's have a look and see how that plays out. It's part of other questions that we've had. I was just having a look here, so we'll come back to that in a minute. So let's have a look at that April the 2nd and see how much of a moving day it will be. So if that is going to be moving day, who are we going to be moving off? So it could be Arsenal. They finished there. Who else has got the main fixtures before that day? So Manchester United. And we also have West Ham. So I think when we come back after New Year, after the international break, we might well have a look and see if we could do a Tuesday night live on that Tuesday, see what news we've had. We'll have had the FA Cup. Yep. Excuse me. Now, I think I'll see if I can book that in. Tuesday night live on the 1st of April. And then we can have a good look at how the land lies with the fixtures. We'll know if the other date moves. We'll know if there's any changes after the FA Cup. We probably won't have the dates for after, but we'll know which games are going to be moved and single game days to come. So yeah, I think we'll go with that. So whether 2nd of April is going to be a moving day, it might be if we've got some teams that we then know of with different fixtures that have moved. I think United, if you've got any United, they look poor afterwards. They play City, Newcastle. Arsenal, they go away to Everton, at home to Brentford. Then they've got Ipswich and Palace, so it wouldn't be too bad. It'd be interesting to see what happens with Tottenham and Chelsea on the 3rd as well. So I think there might be some movement, but it doesn't look as lavish as previous moving days we've had before, John. And then the other thing that was a big discussion was, is it time to pile onto Bournemouth? Now we can see here they've got Tottenham away, Brentford at home, Ipswich at home, West Ham away. And then they don't play then till the Monday night game on the 14th. So if you've gone Liverpool with Southampton, you can then get Tottenham, Brentford, Ipswich and West Ham. And it's a 4-for-1 over Liverpool. So that's why I had a look on my plan. That does mean that you do need the Fulham game to stay on the Sunday to get the whole 4-for-1. But if it doesn't, and you can move back to Fulham, I guess, the Fulham-Liverpool fixture. So what I was looking at here, my original plan was to do Isak in on Monday for Trent. What I've had a look at here is doing 2 Liverpool out, which is Van Dijk and Alexander-Arnold for Semenyo and Bruno Fernandes, for the fixtures that are upcoming. So we would get Manchester United, Arsenal, Leicester and Nottingham Forest, and then Bournemouth, Tottenham, Brentford and Ipswich. Then I've also had a cheeky look here, because it leaves just enough money to do Salah up to Haaland on the 15th of March, which is their game against Brighton. Then you can have Brighton, Leicester, Manchester United and Crystal Palace. And it's a 4-for-2 over Liverpool, who play Everton and Fulham away. And if Liverpool do beat PSG, that Fulham away game will be before our Champions League quarter-final, which will be versus Villa or Bruges. So my transfer count, that took me down to 9 if I did that, which is a little bit tight, and we're still not as high up in the rankings as we'd like. So it's something to look at. And I don't mind losing Van Dijk and Alexander-Arnold. And then we could have a look, and this might leave me in position, as John said on moving day, to see what that looks like on the 2nd of April. So I could then move some players around, Bruno, Semenyo, for Liverpool back again. There's definitely a case to be made to have Bruno back out for a Liverpool player. So yeah, I think I might well have a look at that myself. Got a bit of time to do it now. Yeah, so I think we'll look at that. And the other questions that we have mainly about Bournemouth, and somebody's mentioned that I think Clivert will be very highly owned, mainly because he's playing well, cheap, and Bournemouth have got good fixtures. But the other point of it was that all of their other sort of attacking assets are classified as strikers in the game. So yeah, I think Clivert will be one that's highly owned and popular. So yeah, food for thought for everybody. There is some games to be had. They're not always as easy to see. If you have a look on the team's fixture count part of the tab, I've put up here, this is between Liverpool's game at home to Southampton, so it's their fixture day 76, and then up until the day before, so this is Tuesday the 2nd of April, before they play Everton. Now, I think that's the Everton game there, and this is before they play, just get it right here, it's before they play Fulham. So yeah, there's a lot of teams there. So Liverpool play once, which is the Everton game. You've got Arsenal, Bournemouth and West Ham playing 4 times. Everybody else is playing 3 or 2. Now if I just put that back to, so if you find when, so game day 82. So if I put that back to 82, I need to go to 81. So that's Liverpool with 0 games, same as Villa and Palace. Then you've got the likes of West Ham, Manchester United and Arsenal have all got 3. Bournemouth there only classifies as 2 because they're actually playing on the same day as Liverpool in that midweek. So yeah, if you've got plenty of transfers left, I'll see again if we can get like transfer count for next week as well. No, it won't be next week. It'll be start of April. So we'll do a preview show for next weekend's games. But I think there won't be a lot of moves to be made then, because it's just before the international break. But then when we come back on that 1st of April, that could be one where there are some moves to be made. So let's have a look at the games that we've got this weekend then. So the early game, Nottingham Forest against Manchester City. Manchester City definitely improving. Forest, I won't say the wheels are coming off, but they're starting to slow down. They're not winning as many games as they were before. Still tight at the back, but City have improved going forward. I think I might fancy City to sneak this, and I'm going to go for a 2-1 win. It wouldn't surprise me if Haaland's there scoring well again. Brighton against Fulham. 2 decent sides. I think they might play an attractive game. Yeah, I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw there. Palace against Ipswich. Nketiah, I assume, is going to be up front for Palace, while Mateta's not playing. He's not too bad himself, really. Ipswich, I think they sort of missed their chance at Manchester United when they were leading against 10 men and still managed to lose. I think Palace will have too much. I'll put it down for a 2-0 win. Liverpool against Southampton. I think Liverpool will win. I don't think Southampton will trouble them. I think Liverpool will probably end up taking their foot off the gas after about an hour. But whether the players that come on have points to prove, Darwin set up Elliott on Wednesday for their goal. They both might come on and play again. I think Liverpool will win handy 3-0. And then there's 2 evening TV games this week. Brentford against Aston Villa. In the first of them, Villa seemed to struggle when they've been playing in Europe, and they played away, but it was on Tuesday this week they played, and it was an early kickoff, so they should have been back quite early. And then they play Wednesday in the home leg this week, so they've got the advantage of Tuesday, Saturday, Wednesday. I think I'll put it down for a draw. Villa have drawn a few games recently in the league. 1-1. And then Wolves v Everton. Quite why this has got a Saturday night rating, I do not know. I can't imagine many people are going to be enamoured enough to watch that, to be honest. I'm going to actually say, I don't often predict this, but I'm going to go for a 0-0. I think it'll be quite dire, to be honest. And then on Sunday, we've got Chelsea against Leicester. Chelsea have nearly fully rotated side again in midweek, apart from Palmer. I think they'll be too good for Leicester. Leicester have been poor. I think they're actually worse than Southampton, which is saying something. Chelsea to win, and I'll match the Liverpool score 3-0. Tottenham against Bournemouth. Tottenham again were rotated in midweek, and they lost to Alkmaar. Bournemouth are playing well. I think they might turn Tottenham over. Tottenham depends on their mood, but yeah, I'll go for Bournemouth to win. Both teams to score 2-1. And then Manchester United against Arsenal, what used to be a great game. Less so now. Arsenal actually at 4-5 to win this match. I think they're reasonably heavy favourites, and I'd back them to win quite handily. I think they'll win. I'm going to go 2-0. Then a Monday night game, West Ham against Newcastle. When this was first put together as a Monday night game, I thought Newcastle would have too much. Their eyes are going to be on the EFL Cup final. West Ham, I think they'll have enough at home. If Isak plays, I think Newcastle will score. If he doesn't, I don't think they will. I'm going to go for 2-1 because I think Isak will play. I don't think he'll play the whole game, but I think he will play some. So we had another question off David. I'm just going to go through this. So again, it's defensive assets he's asking about this time. So from the 2nd of April onwards, so that is a moving day, is a theme is back. So is it basically Arsenal, Liverpool or cheap from the 2nd of April? Let's have a look. So Arsenal play Everton, Brentford, Ipswich, Palace, Bournemouth, Liverpool, Newcastle and Southampton. And Liverpool are playing Everton, Fulham, West Ham, Leicester, Tottenham, Chelsea, Arsenal, Brighton and Palace. So yes, they're quite attractive. The one that I would say that you probably will want from then, and I would say from the 2nd is probably just as good a time as any, is Munoz. They've got Southampton away, Brighton at home. Then they do play City, but the extra game against Newcastle is in there. Then they've got Bournemouth. They finish up, they've got Arsenal and Liverpool away in the final fixtures, but this guy's playing near enough as a right winger, and he's cheap in the game. He's in my team, so I can tell you the price. Munoz 2.7. So that definitely comes under cheap for you, David. So I'd say him. Kirkes is another one, and from the 2nd of April you'll have missed his Ipswich game, and they do finish with some hard games. Bournemouth, their sort of good run is now if you want to get on. And then Forest have been great all season, and from 2nd of April, so their game is on the Tuesday, so the 1st, so After that, then they've got City, Newcastle. They do finish with Wolves, Bournemouth, Brentford, West Ham, Chelsea and Villa. So if they're still... No, I've read out the wrong team there. I've read out Manchester United. Sorry, so the Forest play Villa, Everton, Tottenham, Brentford, Palace, Leicester, West Ham and Chelsea. So yeah, they are still ones to be on. But from the second, they actually play Man United on the first. So hop on point for Forest is going to be rarer. They normally play on a Saturday, unless one of those games might get moved for an FA Cup. Can't remember exactly which week they are, but no, maybe not, because it looks like they're playing Brentford and Everton on those Saturdays. So, and they're still in the FA Cup anyway, aren't they? So it could get moved for their own volition. They play Brighton away. Right, I think that's all the questions. Anything else in the chat? No, John's still there with his asterisks. Well, that will do. So let's put this slide back up. So yeah, there we are ahead of game week 27. Some thoughts on strikers, some confirmed fixtures and a few plans to move some people in and out, some teams to target. We'll be back next week with the last of the pre-international break previews, and as promised we'll have some preview of phase 2 of the game, and we'll be asking for some help for testing for that after the international break. So in the meantime, if you like the video, please leave it a like. If you want to subscribe to the channel, please do. If you want to use the fixture planner, the transfer planner that I've been utilising throughout the stream, you'll find that over on Patreon, patreon.com/Cloudy Sky Fantasy Football Show. And there we go. Enjoy the weekend, enjoy the football, enjoy the Six Nations. It's a title decider really between Ireland and France tomorrow. I think it's the early kickoff, 2:15. So I'll be watching that as well and keeping abreast of Liverpool. Okay, thanks very much. See you later, everybody. Cheers for now. Bye-bye.